Greetings, 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 everyone, and welcome to another edition of Cat's Corner, One-on-One Live. I'm your host, Risikat, Cat Okedeyi, and we are getting into another conversation in these pandemic streets. I'm very excited, as always, to have this guest on with me today. I met him because I was working with a trainer, and I ended up messing up my IT band, and so they were like, you need to go talk to Roland. Roland will help you out. And it was a very painful undoing of the IT band tightness, but he was able to get that out. And, I've been seeing him ever since. He is a fitness, yoga, massage therapist, professional. And I am excited to bring him on because we are going to be talking about touch hunger. So welcome, the good Roland. Hello, darling.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So
excited.
I am a self-care specialist, just to sum everything up instead of having to say, personal training, massage, and yoga and self-care. Everything to do with self-care.
Duly noted and corrected. He's
All right.
A self-care professional. So I usually start off the conversation with a very simple, depending on the day you've had, question. How are you doing today?
I am great. I feel good. Even though we're in the pandemic right now, I feel really, really, really good. I've been blessed with, being able to stay out there and keep my business going. And even because of the pandemic, it's actually grown a little bit. Mm-hmm. I've had to adjust and do different things. So yeah, I'm great.
Okay, so let's talk about that. The reason, so I wanted to bring you on to talk about touch hunger. And touch hunger or touch starvation is this very real thing where without physical touch for humans, it can lead to sort of all sorts of mental health and possibly physical issues because touch is a big part of how we communicate. And I think it's something that we all need. But I wanted to get folks sort of familiar with your creation story. How did you get into becoming a self-care practitioner? Specialist.
So I was in the military for 9 years. And when I left high school, I was really skinny. I was skinny, right? And I was tired of being skinny, so I started training with this guy in boot camp. He was a really, really big dude, like 265-pound guy, and he taught me about working out. Mm-hmm. When I got to the military, I started gaining weight really, really fast. And people saw this. Everybody saw this. In fact, matter of fact, the officers also saw this. What they did was they put me in charge of my whole division. I had to increase our physical readiness assessment. Mm-hmm. So I had to make sure everybody passed. After that, people just started gathering around to train with me. Mm-hmm. And when I got out of the military after 9 years of doing personal training and small force training and stuff like that, I decided, hey, I like personal training. Mm-hmm. So I did it. So I did that for about 4 years, and I wanted more. I got to the top of my gym. I was the #1 trainer and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I want more. I want to know more. So I decided to figure out what profession helps you learn more about the body. And massage was it. But then when I learned massage, I learned so much more that my personal training record skyrocketed even more because now I know all the muscles. I know where they go, what they attach to, what body parts they move, how to move them, and things like that. And it helped me with my personal training. And then I found, we would call it the spiritual side of massage. Mm-hmm. And that actually taught me, people's emotions, people's vulnerabilities, people's, aspirations and things of that nature. So that way you can really, really, really help people both physically and mentally by giving them massages and spiritually and everything.
Okay.
And that's how I got it. And then I wanted more. I wanted to do it again. So I decided what other profession can do this? And then yoga. I got into yoga because I broke my knee. I broke my knee in 8 places and during American Ninja Warrior. And my rehab, I noticed that if I started doing yoga, I had a little bit more flexibility. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to really get into it to figure out how I can make sure my knee really healed the way I wanted to. So I became a yoga instructor. And I've been doing that for 4 years also.
Okay. So multitasking is your thing. And the storyline connects because there's sort of this move from initially the outward physical to the spiritual in your practice. And as someone who is your client, I have to say that I definitely, I appreciate the yoga background you have because even when we were doing in-person training, I found it helpful to have like someone who could correct my postures. Mm-hmm. And I thought that including that in the workout was, yeah, I hadn't really worked with someone who did both of those disciplines together. So that was really dope. Now, when we talk about COVID and we talk about what's happening, in this space where there's no touch, where you can't, you're socially distancing, what are some of the ways you had to adjust your practice, your business, in order to deal with the COVID onslaught?
So when COVID first hit, everything shut down, and I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Everything I do is in person. What can I do to adjust? And it was hard. The first 2 months, it was like I had nothing. There was nothing.
Right.
So then I thought, okay, well, let me see if people want to train online. So I talked to the people who I used to train, like, listen, it's COVID right now. We can still keep training if we do online, right? So people were on board. People were like, okay, you can't come here. I don't want you to come here.
Right.
Let's keep training. So now that I've been doing online training, people love it. People really, really love online training because, one, they don't have to go anywhere, which means you don't have to like leave your house, and then come home and then take a shower and then get ready for work. None of that. It's just you're already at home, and I can correct you almost as good as in person because I can see the different angles that wouldn't normally see in person when I'm online. Okay. And I'm super focused on the little stuff where if you're in person, the energy is different. I'm trying to make sure you do everything right and correct. But when I'm online, I can see every little small detail of how you're doing, like a push-up or a sit-up or a crunch. And I'm focused on correcting every single aspect of it. And it helps you in the long run. So basically I've converted all my personal training people online, but yet I still do. Now that we've opened up a little bit, I've gone back to massaging in person.
Okay. So with the shift to virtual for the training, so as someone who hates you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a regular basis, I have to say that I at the beginning part of this whole pandemic, I was really not feeling anything, not feeling any movement, was just irritated the whole night. And I hadn't worked with you in a while, and I reached out to you and I asked you if you were doing anything. You were like, yeah. And as things have happened, as we've had these ups and downs and all this weird stuff, I do have to say, knowing that I'm going to get yelled at, well, not, you don't yell. It just feels like yelling because I don't want to do it. But knowing that I have to be online 3 times a week because someone is going to push me has been really helpful.
That actually, I would say 80% of personal training. It's just accountability. Right. People need to feel accountable for training, because if not, they're not going to do it. It hurts. Right. It hurts. It's tiring. But once you start to see the results of your efforts, then it becomes, I'm not going to say, I think it's fun. People would disagree with me, but still.
He really is fun. It's so annoying. He's chipper as hell all the damn time. And it's like, him to do this. Okay.
But the accountability is where it's at. I mean, you're not going to do it if you don't have to. But you have it in your schedule. Okay, I know Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm going to get beat up. Let's go. Let's do it. And then at the end of every session, it's like, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I can go about my day, and I did something positive for myself.
Yeah, as self-preservation goes, I have to say, because initially I was 2 times a week, and then I just bumped it up to 3, just because it just felt like I needed a little bit more. So yeah, I think it's. I'm glad that you, Ewunike, Rachel, Candace, all of these wellness folks have found a way to make online work, because I do think that it's helping a lot of us. So thank you for that.
Very well.
When we talk about massage, though, when we talk about touch hunger and things of that nature, okay, shout out to Dana Walker, the one who's keeping it together. Accountability is everything. She holds me accountable. I don't know what I'd do without her right about now. How are you managing this whole idea? Because I know when people hear massage in the midst of COVID, they're like, what? Talk us through how this works.
Okay, so massage. So the Maryland Board of Massage Therapy put out a way for massage therapists to actually resume doing massage. Mm-hmm. I took it a little bit further. They're saying, okay, you have to wear masks. Basically, that's the protocol. Wear a mask, and that's it. What I like to do is, since I'm going into your home, I wipe down everything. I spray everything. I have special covers for the mats. I have special covers for the face pieces. as you know, I don't use a table anymore. I use a mat on the ground, so that way there's less of a surface for you to contaminate, and I spray everything down. Also, everybody gets their own sheets. Nobody uses the same sheets twice. The face mask covering, I'm starting using the 2 face masks, because they say now that that there's a new strain. The 1 cloth doesn't really do, so you have to use 2.
Right.
I've done that. Of course, wash your hands frequently before and after every client. I started off using gloves, but I'm not going to do that anymore, because you can actually hold more bacteria inside of your hand with the gloves, because if you don't wash your hands thoroughly and then put gloves on, and then so I wash my hands more times than I would wear the gloves. And that's pretty much the safety protocol for massage now.
Okay. And how have people received it? I mean, I know I'm a client. I mean, I get massages. Right.
So you tell me, how have you received it? How do you like my?
I like the protocol. I like that. And the thing is, I know that my situation is, and I don't know that it's unique, but I don't have anyone else living in the house with me. So it's not like I have someone that, I have to also be aware of. Like, I don't know, honestly, if I had another person living in the house, how open I would be to it. But because it's just me, yeah, your protocols are fantastic. Like, I feel safe.
I appreciate that. And what I do is I normally try to go to people's houses when there's the least amount of people in the house. So that way there's less chance of contamination through people and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people in their house, they don't want to wear their own mask in their own house, so whenever most of the people are gone, that's when I'll do a massage.
Okay. Now, we were talking about touch hunger as sort of the lead-in for how we were going to discuss massage. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about the importance of touch, and particularly as a massage therapist, what you've seen, and why massage is one of the ways to kind of deal with that, particularly in a time space where we can't really be around each other. Like, when I think about it, like, I see people here and there, but it's like elbows, and like, even I don't hug my own father right now just because I want to be careful when I do see him. So why is touch so important?
Well, the power of touch goes back forever and ever and ever and ever. So massage came from India, and it has so many benefits. All right, so touch, basically, when you break touch down, it's just a transfer of energy from one person to another. That's what touch is. But now the brain interprets touch in a magnitude of ways. Right. All right. So we'll start with cultural. All right, Americans versus, say, French. All right, now Americans on an hourly basis will touch each other twice to say hello and say goodbye. That's pretty much how we feel about touch. Now, France is supposed to be like the most romantic capital in the world and things like that. Well, they touch each other 110 times per hour. Right.
Really?
And this is, yes. Studies have shown that the French people touch each other on average of 110 times per hour. When they walk up to each other, they hug, they kiss, they touch each other during conversations. It's just a natural way of life. And that's what makes it so romantic, is because there's a lot of emotional connection that happens with touch. Now, if you want scientific, people who have kids, the first thing they have a baby do when the baby is born is breastfeed.
Right.
Shirtless. They want touch.
Right.
They want the baby to feed, and they want the skin to skin contact. When I had my son, the doctors told me I should do skin to skin contact. And I was wondering why. It's like, so the baby can become more acclimated with me and my energy and my heart rate and my warmth and stuff like that. And I actually did it, and it's really, really dope. They also found that kids who don't get touch while they're younger have more issues later in life. And we've all seen it, the deprived kid of touch, comes out to be a certain way. Right. I'm not saying all people are like this, but it's just a scientific fact that the more touch you get as a kid, the better off you will be. This is the same thing in the pandemic. In the pandemic, people are lacking touch, even though you're around your family all the time. And you get, a personal contact, the outside world is still cut off. So when I come in as a massage therapist, I'm giving the touch needed for people's sanity. Right. Because for people who live alone, there is no touch. There is nothing. people have animals, which is great, but it's not human contact.
Right.
Human contact is different than animals because it gives you a different sense of emotion rather than just a companion on the side.
Right.
So I feel it's a service to go to people and give them that sense of trust that they've been missing because of the COVID, a sense of safety that there are people out there that still care.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I like to do massage so much, is because it shows that there are people out there who still care about the sanity of people.
Right.
There's a lot of times where people don't even like call their families because they're just tired,
Right.
But you have to give people that connection, and some people don't have families, so therefore I come in as a person that they can trust, that they can like tell their emotions to, that can tell their stories to, and things of that nature. It's not even just about touch; it's about just communication with another person.
Right.
But the power of touch actually helps because it's on an emotional level, and it creates oxytocin, which is was a love hormone.
So when we think about that 110 times is, I'm not gonna lie, I know that there are other cultures that are more touch centric than the States, which that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But 110 times is amazing to me when I think about in one interaction, like what that means. And so when we think about how we are doing culturally in America, we're already touch deprived even before this pandemic, depending on our home lives, depending on our living situations or what, and the other thing is where we are concerned, America, there's an issue with touch and appropriateness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also drives why I think touch deprivation is a thing in this country.
Well, so my opinion on that is religion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, religion is a big thing for everybody. Now, as a Christian, the Christian religion is mostly keep your hands to yourself, basically. And I mean, we get why. We get why there's a lot of people out here who are different, and it could be seen as something that is not genuine.
Right.
Everybody has an opinion on what's going on. If you touch your kids too much, if you touch your friends too much, it's like, oh, what's really going on? Like the soap operas and all this other stuff. Like, oh, if two people walk down the street, they might be doing something, or we could just be friends, but everybody thinks that this is going on. So you have to limit your touch because you don't want people thinking certain things, and that's just how it goes in America.
Right.
France is not like that. It doesn't matter. I read a lot about how the French people communicate, and most of it is through touch.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody is, communicating through touch, then touch is not a big deal, and nobody's thinking certain things, so therefore they can express themselves how they want to. Here, everybody's opinion matters.
Right.
So we can't really express ourselves through touch because it might give the wrong signal to somebody else. But if we don't care about that, well, then you just do what you want.
So as a massage therapist, how do you walk that line to make sure? Because if you're saying, particularly in this space of things, people are feeling really isolated and vulnerable, how do you make sure that you can sort of do the job as a massage therapist, but that there's clarity that this is the kind of touch that's about energy, nothing else?
Well, that's just it. All you have to do is clarify. Right? When you go to a person and it's their first massage, you just talk to them. You just talk to the people like, listen, what do you need from me?
Mm-hmm.
What are your intentions for this massage? Here's what I provide.
Right.
And then if you just talk to people, it's a lot easier than having the massage and trying to explain after. Right. So just talk to people beforehand, like, okay, here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a multiple of different pressures on your massage. I will ask you if you feel uncomfortable multiple times throughout the massage. Mm-hmm. Let me know if anything is wrong. Let me know if anything is right. And I'll just communicate through responses, through breath, through heart rate. You have to pay attention to these things as a massage therapist, so mm-hmm. that way you can get a feel for how the person's actually feeling. Because sometimes people don't like to express if something is uncomfortable as a massage therapist because they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they feel like it's inappropriate to say or anything like that. So as a massage therapist, you have to read a person while getting as much feedback as you can in the moment. Right. So if I clarify to you in the beginning, here's what I'm going to be doing, here's the tools I'm going to be using. If you feel a way, communicate that to me somehow, some way, and just pay attention to people. Everything is fine.
Okay. And when we think about, sort of that communicative, particularly nonverbal communication, because this is something that I think a lot of us, well, I won't say a lot of us, people struggle with, because some folks need very direct, linear, this, and this. Some people can read others quite effectively. It's not always easy to figure out what people are saying or what they need. But when we think about that nonverbal communication and that skill set, that is something that I think, because when I think about all the massage therapists that I have worked with, and sort of, go back to time and time again, part of it is I don't have to do a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
I can just, if you hit a pressure point in my shoulder and I'm like, then you kind of know. But sometimes it can be subtle. It can be really subtle things that I may not even be aware of. Like, you've noticed tightness in places that I didn't realize were actually tight before, when it comes to particularly my upper body, because I just hold all my tension there. So I do think that it's the nonverbal piece can be really tricky for some people. And in this heightened state of people aren't getting touched, there's no engagement, it seems like a lot of energy to take on. So I'm interested to know how you, as someone who's working in the space of giving, how you balance out, like, what does your self-care look like?
So I'm a very, very active person, right? So I like movement. I like body movement. So I work out a lot. I do Krav Maga. I do yoga on my own. I take baths. Baths are great. For all the men out there who are watching this, start taking baths. Baths are awesome. Like, I know we're not a bath type people, but they are very, very relaxing, and you can just chill for a good, like, you ain't even got to be in there for an hour. Be in there for a good 15 minutes. Baths are great,
right?
Because it helps relax your whole body at the same time,
right?
Like, there's a lot of times, like, you give yourself like a foam roll, you get a foam roller or something like that, and do like certain muscles after a workout, which is great. But a bath will just relax everything. I see why women do it so much. I was naive at first, but I'm good now.
This door, because I'm about to walk through it. Because I think that there is some genderizing that happens around massages and touch that really make it really difficult, I think, for men, Black men in particular, to like just be free.
Well, I mean, there's I don't want to call it a homophobic thing.
It is. I think sometimes it is.
Well, no, it's not. It's just men aren't as secure with their sexuality than women are. Because as you know, society says that, and no offense to anybody, but being gay is not cool. But a lesbian is like, all men like that. Right. And there's just a big difference between it. If a man is gay, he's shunned out. But if a woman is a lesbian, clap hands for you. You know what I mean?
There are a lot of folks who would disagree with. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I want
on a men's
right. Some of these men in their wayward thinking. But how do we? Because as a man, you just said, baths. You love baths, like it's the thing. Awesome. Men are missing out, but you didn't always take baths. Somebody had to kind of be like, "Hey, you should try this," and you had to be open to it. So when you talk to men about what you do, I mean, do you have male clients who get massages?
I have plenty of male clients.
Okay.
It's just so it is difficult. It is difficult to get male clients, because of a lot of men are like, I'm not gonna let another dude touch me, and that's fine. But it also turns out that once a man does get a massage from another man, he doesn't really want the female anymore, because there's a different, I guess we'll just call it a different style. Right. There's different pressure. There's different, ways of going about it. And as a man, I know what muscles I hurt when I work out. And most of my male clients are people who work out or bodybuilders or things of that nature. And I know what it feels like to have all my muscles sore at the same time. And I know what kind of pressure I need. So it's easier to translate that to a man. And when you, again, communication, once you talk to a person and tell them your intentions, all the energy of it being something different goes away. Like if I talk to you like, yo, I work out too, and I know right now your traps hurt, your quads probably hurt, your glutes hurt from squats, and I can explain to you in the different types of workout, bless you, that you've done. I can explain to you how it feels and how you feel on the inside right now. So I know that what I'm doing is going to help you out because I do it for myself. And then it's like, oh.
Yeah. But it's interesting because a thought just occurred to me. in sports, a lot of the trainers are men.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a lot of, we talk about, male sport, male like basketball teams and male, football teams. A lot of the trainers, the massage that happens in sort of the athletic space, a lot of those trainers tend to be men. It's not like, massage is foreign, but it
Right.
seems to act as there seems to be it's treated as a utility in terms of for you to perform better and not as a way for you to be more human. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but again, it's all about intention. It's
Right.
about intention because on a football team, you know that massage is crucial. It's crucial to you doing well in sports because what happens is when you use your muscles a lot, the burn that you feel from working out is actually lactic acid building up in your muscles,
Right.
and in order for your muscles to perform correctly, you have to get rid of that lactic acid. And if you're an athlete, all you do all day is train. You train all day, then your performance is game time. So what you need to do is you need to keep your muscles prepared for game time by allowing blood flow through your muscles by getting rid of that lactic acid through massage, through foam rolling, through stretching, and all these other things. So therefore, since massage is just another tool to keep you on a higher level, well then now that's what it's for. But when it
Right.
comes to home massages and stuff like that, and people who are not athletes, then the intention could be different in a man's mind. But as soon as you explain to him what the purpose of massage is, it's like, oh, okay, we'll do it then. And then that's
Okay.
just how it goes. You just have to explain. A lot of people don't explain; they just assume. But then once you have the explanation given to you, it's like, oh, I can do that. And then they figure out the benefits, and it's like, oh, now I understand. And all that other stuff goes away.
So, as a wellness specialist, what does that mean to you in the larger scheme? Touch is something that we've been spending a lot of time on because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you because of what you do. But when you think about wellness, what are the ways in which wellness resonates with you, and how did you come to this space of wellness? Like you told us earlier that there's kind of like you followed the breadcrumbs. First it was the physical sort of training piece, then it was training people, then it was like, oh, let me understand the body better through massage, and then let me go into yoga. But when we talk about wellness, particularly self-care, which is a term I'm not a big fan of, it tends to look like baths and aromatherapy, getting your nails done, getting the shave or whatever. And we're not always dealing in sort of the very real need for sort of spiritual enlightenment or just quiet. So how did you get to that space of wellness, and what does wellness mean for you?
So first we're gonna have to go back to that you don't like the self-care thing. I heard that, it's fine. But
I don't like the term. I feel like the term has been sort of bastardized and it's often tied to like capitalistic type of things, like paying for getting your nails done, getting your hair done,
No,
all of these things.
I get what you're saying, and self-care actually is a newer term. There are no real like certifications and stuff like that out there for self-care, and I get how it could be used as a monopoly or something that's just a corporate type thing, a corporate name for wellness. But
a buzzword.
Right, of course. But wellness is all encompassing. Wellness is not just the absence of illness. Wellness is your entire body and how you feel on a day-to-day, perspective. Now, how I got into it, like you said, I follow breadcrumbs. I was a personal trainer. I like to see the results from the body. I like to, watch people get better, and then I wanted more. And then as I got through the other disciplines that I've acquired, I started to see real benefits, not just physical benefits. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I went to massage therapy, they tried to teach me, chakras and all that. I'm like, yeah, you can miss me with all that. Like I tried to get into the spiritual, and I didn't understand it. Like, whatever, sure, sounds good. When I went to yoga, they did the same thing. Like I was there because I broke my knee in 8 places, and I'm like, I need my physical to be back. So I know that yoga helps, make sure that the limbs are more elastic and stuff, and I can get more flexibility back. And then they started teaching me about chakras again, and I'm like, yeah, all right, that's great for y'all. I'm the physical kind of guy, right? But then I started doing massages on my own. I wasn't in a corporate area doing massages. I opened up my own business. So therefore, the rules changed just a little bit. Now, when you're working for a company, you have strict rules that you have to abide by. But when you're working for yourself, you still have to follow like the state rules and stuff like that. But you have a little bit more leniency. And then as I became more accustomed to looking at people's reactions and the different movements and sounds and heart rate and breathing that people were receiving through this massage, I had more of a chance to actually focus on a person rather than a number, because I get somebody in, massage them, get them out, get them in, get them out. Now I had a chance to take my time. You saw all the different reactions. You got a chance to speak to the people after. You got a chance to speak to the people before, and the spiritual side of it just came out. It actually just came. It just hits you like a ton of bricks, because you see the smiles on people's faces after they get a massage. You see different things that help people, and it's not just massage. And that's when the baths came. It's like, well, women are taking baths and they seem to be more relaxed than men. So let me see what a bath is like. And then also I did a I did a strongman competition, and my lower back was really, really hurting. And I knew that, soaking in the bath would help. And then when I got in the bath, I finally used Epsom salt. Like I didn't use Epsom salt before. I didn't care about all that. It's just hot water.
Wait, so you in the bath with no Epsom salt?
Forget it. Like, look, the hot water was the physical side. It's like, all right, bet, whatever. But then I started using Epsom salt, and then the Epsom salt had an aroma to it. I was like, oh yeah, I know about this stuff. And I started going through my head of all the stuff that I learned through massage school, all the stuff that I learned through yoga school. And it's like, this stuff actually helps. And I started wondering, like, what else is out there? And that's when I started doing foot scrubs. That's when, I started doing manicures and pedicures. That's when, and you can feel tension just leave, because now you're catering to yourself. There's a lot of people out there who believe that you have to cater to other people, and that's great. But if you're depriving yourself of the emotional and physical lift that you need, you're going to deplete yourself. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. Right. And there's a lot of people out there who believe that. So when I get a chance to come in and give somebody a massage and give somebody the ability to take care of themselves, that's why I like self-care. It's because now you're focusing on you, which is a great thing. And people think it's selfish, but it's not, because you have to fill yourself up if nobody else is going to fill yourself up or fill you up. So if you don't fill yourself up, who's going to? And if you can't get full, how can you give to other people?
So just for the record, I don't like the term self-care. I do prefer self-preservation, because that's what I see it as. So it's not like I'm completely throwing the self thing out. I think that the way self-care has been manipulated and sort of marketed, it's I don't know, something about it energetically that doesn't feel right. So for me, it is about self-preservation and thinking through what is going to make sure that you are available the next day for whoever you have to show up for. So whatever you have to do to take care of yourself, you do that. Now, when we think about, I got to go back to the chakras. Did you ever learn about the chakras?
I learned about them. They taught me, but I didn't dive into the chakras yet.
Why are you so, what is it about the chakras that you're like,
I don't know. I mean, I get the fact of chakras. There's different points in the body that help create the energy to flow correctly. I get them. I get the chakras. I don't know. I never held on to them.
Okay, it doesn't resonate with you.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
It doesn't have to. It's fine. So, in this COVID space of virtual training and limited, but very intentional massage, you have found a lane, and you said that your business had actually increased. Why do you think that is?
People are like you say, people are deprived. Like, especially in America, people are deprived, and now that everything has been cut off, people are reaching out to seek human interaction. And then also, the COVID-19 that everybody keeps putting on. People want to get rid of that.
Right.
I mean, pounds, if you know.
Right.
So people, and everybody knows that they don't want to go back to gyms now because, it's still COVID-19 out there. People know that they don't want people coming to their houses because of COVID-19. Right. So they've been reaching out to get rid of these pounds that they've gained. And now that it's online and it's so much easier, more clients are coming in. Same thing with massage. People are looking for, a still human contact, but in a safe way. You know, I put out there my safety precautions, and people like it. So like, all right, so I'll try it. And then once they try it, they're hooked.
So let's talk about these 19 pounds.
Uh-huh.
How does one, because I know people who've done quite well during the pandemic, have maintained or have lost and are feeling great, and they've created a system for themselves that really works. I personally am not motivated to work out. I hate working out. If I could just go hike a mountain, I would prefer that. I don't like gyms. Haven't liked gyms. Don't really go to gyms unless I absolutely have to. But what are some of the ways that we can stay motivated? Because it's, bread is nice. I like bread.
Look, listen. So I'm a different kind of trainer. There's a lot of trainers out there that's like, no, don't eat this, don't eat that. You can't have this for breakfast. You can't eat. I don't do any of that. Okay. When it comes to losing the COVID-19, eating is the easiest way to do it. And I'm just gonna put it out there because it's not a secret. Everybody knows calories. If you eat more calories than you burn, you're gonna gain weight. If you expend more calories than you eat, you're gonna lose weight. That is the key to losing weight. That is the number one key to losing weight. People don't understand that. They think that you have to keep up with all these new physical fads and stuff out there. Like that's not it. If you want to lose weight, eat less calories. That's it. That's all it is. So now if you know that to lose the COVID-19, you just have to eat right. You just have to find an eating regimen that fits you. You don't have to get rid of any foods. You just have to know how many calories that you're consuming. You have to know how many calories your body burns on a day-to-day basis without you working out. And then just eat 500 less and you lose a pound. You lose a pound a week. Scientific fact.
So how do you discover what your body burns without you working out?
Easy. The Apple Watches, the Fitbits, all those things. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a 20% margin of error for all of those things.
Jesus.
Every last one. They have 20. You can go either way. 27%. But it is still a guideline, right? Because you can't really calculate how many calories are in a candy bar. You can't really calculate how many calories are in a piece of fruit. You can't do it.
Are you saying the labels are wrong?
I'm saying the labels are flawed.
Okay.
27% flawed.
Okay.
Right. I mean, they have an idea, but 27%, whatever. Right. So all you have to do is just, if you know that there's a 27% error, that's fine. Just use that 27% and use it as a guideline. Now, all you have to do is just figure out how many calories your body burns by wearing your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or whatever you want to use.
Okay.
Like that. And then just set it. You don't got to do anything. So do that for a week and then figure out on average, I might burn. For me, I burn a lot. I burn like 2,400 calories a day without doing anything. Because I'm a very active person.
Okay, so hold up, partner. So wait, just so I'm clear, my watch, so what am I setting it for? Like, what am I doing to kind of gauge?
So it's just, so on all those watches, right, they have a calorie setting.
Right. So
if you sit there and if you do nothing all day, and you just sit there, you're going to burn calories. Because your body has to function.
Right.
And your device is going to say, okay, you burned 1,400 calories a day, and all you did was sit on the couch.
Okay.
All right. Now if you and like most people, everybody's on a computer right now, so you're not really getting up and walking around the office. You're not getting up and going to the water cooler. You're not moving around. You ain't got to walk to lunch or anything. Everything's right in your house. Gotcha. So therefore, your calorie burn is going to be low. Right. But you have to know this. So if you know that your calorie burn is low and you've been eating the same way you would as if you won't go to work, now you've been eating more calories than you normally would.
Gotcha.
More than your body is burning. But if you know that now my calorie burn went from 2,000, which is like the national average, that's why they put it up there. 2,000 when I go to work, and I'm only burning 1,800 now because I'm not working. Well, then you're going to gain more weight. But now if you know these numbers, you can just take your calories down 500, and you're going to take off that COVID-19.
Okay, because it's funny. I just looked at my watch, and there's this thing that tells it. Yeah. Okay, that's the thing. So, because Tony Blackman is asking, I need to understand too. So on your watch, it'll tell you number of minutes you've worked out. It's like a little graph. Mine's in the shape of a heart, and how long you've been active. And so, okay. Because every once in a while it'll be like, oh, you hit 300 calories. And I was like, all I did was walk around. I didn't do anything. So that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So once you know that, and then you're supposed to do what now?
Okay. So you know that today, you didn't do anything today and you burned 1,800 calories, right?
Right.
Right. So all you have to do is eat less than 1,800 calories. And then you'll be losing weight.
Gotcha.
And all you do is subtract 500.
Okay.
And that's it. If you subtract 500 from whatever your daily burn is, you're going to lose a pound a week, because 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Oh. So if you subtract 5 from every day, then that's 1 pound a week. Simple as that. And you can eat whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want, anything that you want.
But you have to keep track of your calorie intake.
There you go. Simple as that. You don't have to cut out any food. You want to eat bread? Eat bread. You want to eat cupcakes and Twinkies? Like, it don't matter. It doesn't even matter. I mean, your nutrition value is going to go way down, which is terrible. I have to say that because I know people are like, oh, I got a chance to eat ice cream. No, you can't eat a whole pint of ice cream. Like, oh, I went underneath. But your nutrition count is going to go down, but you will lose weight. There's actually something people should look up. It's called the Twinkie diet, where a person ate nothing but Twinkies and lost weight.
Yeah, there was a scientist. So this is a smartwatch, Tony. So Tony's asking, I like this kind of math. I don't wear a watch. Do I need to start? What kind of watch is this? So if you don't have a watch, is there something? I guess the watches are the easiest way to.
Yeah, the watches, the Fitbits and stuff like that. I mean, because they stay on your body, they stay on your wrist. So they're because there are apps out there that can calculate how many you burn, but it's not really that accurate because nobody knows your personal heart rate. Do you sweat more when you sleep? If you walk up a stair, are you going to be more exasperated than the next person? These apps on the phones, they don't say that, but the watches and stuff like that, they actually keep track of your heart rate, and they'll tell you how many you specifically burn throughout the day. Okay. So get some kind of device. I'm not out here to promote anybody, but just get some kind of device for your wrist and then have it on all day.
Okay. And the idea is to figure out how many calories you burn without working out.
Right.
Once you've determined that number, then that's what then when you eat, the idea is to eat less, is to remove. Okay. That's the part that lost me. So 500, at least 500 calories. Okay.
So make the math easy. Let's say you burn 2,000 calories every day and all you do is sit down and watch TV. Well, now if you eat 1,500 calories a day, you're going to lose 1 pound a week.
Okay.
Simple.
So you reduce your calorie intake by 500.
That's it.
All right, Tony.
And then if you work out, all that extra stuff is gravy. That's all gravy.
Okay. Okay, Tony. Hopefully that answers your question, because I'm like, okay, I got to figure this math out. This is fantastic. All right. So excited about this. I don't know why. Okay. So
easy.
I think part of the other thing is for those people who, I wanted to get that insight, because I think it's important if people can't afford trainers or if they're just not ready for that, it'd be great to get some ideas on what you can do. Because people are home, they're cooking more and they're eating more because sometimes your mouth is bored and you just want to do something. Right. But when we think about massage or touch in general, mm-hmm. What are some ways, if you don't want to engage a massage therapist, what are some ways that you yourself can, can self-touch be a way to kind of bring out those endorphins and kind of, it's not the same thing, of course, but are there certain techniques that you could recommend? Because my words are.
One, I understand, like how can you help yourself with the power of touch mm-hmm. other than a massage therapist?
Yes. So
on the physical side, foam rollers. Foam mm-hmm. rollers actually really, really help because they loosen up, the muscles on the physical side. Emotional side, you can't really get the power of touch without a person to touch. If you have animals, that's the next best way. Mm-hmm. But without an animal, you have to find out. Okay, one, you have to be real with yourself. You have to be real with yourself and be able to do things outside the box. Like for men, taking a bath is outside the box. Mm-hmm. Try it. Try these things. If
Take a bath, man.
I'm serious. I know I keep harping on why does dude like taking baths so much, but it really helps. It helps your psychological, because now this is your time. You have to find time for yourself. Don't just go, put your head down and run all the time. That's what a lot of people do, and you burn yourself out. You have to sit down, stop, and find time for yourself to just breathe and be you. Be unapologetically yourself. Right. Whatever that may be. And if something feels uncomfortable, try it anyway.
Right.
You're by yourself. Who cares? Try it. See if you like it. If you like it, run with it. If you don't, it's an experiment. That's it. So again, take baths. Aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is awesome. I started using a diffuser, and I put like lavender in it. I put orange in it. I put cinnamon in mine, and I sleep way better. Like drool outside of my face, everything. I don't even care anymore. Like diffusers really help. I do. And this is a great time because you ain't got nothing else to do. I mean, you go to work and you watch TV, and that's it. Try stuff that's going to help you. Try things that you may like. Try things that you've heard of. Journaling. Journaling is another one. People don't journal as much as they used to because they have their phones and stuff like that. They record it, but just writing down all the information, the thoughts that's in your head, it ain't even got to make sense. Just writing it down is actually really therapeutic, because now you're starting to think about more stuff that's helping you rather than just letting it go by. So today, I did, of course, I'm a physical person. I did 20 push-ups. I used my diffuser. I know I'm going to take a bath tonight. I did my foam rolling. I did a yoga stretch, and I wrote all this stuff down, and it just helps reinforce positivity on myself. And that's really helpful. So if you can't physically get touched, find a way to touch your own emotions, touch your own self-care, or what you said, something else.
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. There you go. Seriously.
I love it. I really appreciate, because I think it's safe to say that a lot as women, these are things that we don't foam. I don't know too many women that use foam rollers on purpose because that thing hurts, although they are helpful. But I do think the baths and the aromatherapy and the journaling, like I know a lot of people who journal, but I don't know that I love as a man that you were sort of talking about this, because I do think everyone needs to be doing this, but I do think that there's some elements around how we are gendered that have really left men out of the self-preservation loop in some ways. And I think that it's dope to kind of see a brother who's willing to kind of go on record and say that he takes baths and kind of be in this space where, the idea that you need to touch yourself emotionally by expressing your thoughts and, taking the time to think about, your oils that you're going to burn. I think these are really important aspects of self-preservation that often get overlooked, because I do think women tend to be more engaged in this part of the conversation. So I appreciate you for sharing those thoughts.
You're welcome. Well, as men, we got to be strong, and there's never really clarification of what strong is. It's like we have to, as a man, we support, and that's just what it is. So we're always supporting. Who's supporting us? Nobody. Except for our women. For our women. I saw the face. I was going to say it before, but the face came back.
Wait a minute now. Hold up.
What I meant was like, our women definitely, and that's another reason. That's one of the main reasons I continue to do massage, and I will go out there, and it's because I like to support. I'm a guy. I support, but I want to support women. Women have been supporting men for ever and ever. And I feel, is my opinion, that men could do more to support our women.
Yes.
I do. And I really do. And I get it. We, as a man, we are, frontline in the attack of white men, but we need to support our women as much as they support us, because if not, then we're all going to crumble, because women have been supporting men for a long time. And I want to give back. And this is how I know, it's the only way I know to give back to my Black women is, through massage. This is what I do. Personal training. I will give out free massages all the time. People, sometimes I'll just give you extra enhancements and stuff just because I feel like you could use it that day, and that's the only way I know to do it. So that's the way I like to do it. Right. And that's another reason I'll go out there and in this pandemic and still do massages, because I know I'm helping, but again, as a Black man, we need to support our women more.
You heard it. I don't disagree with you. especially because there are a lot of Black women on the front lines as well. So it is important. You have a fan in Dana.
Nice.
But it is important, and I do think that that I appreciate you spending time today to talk about it, because I know we've talked about this stuff offline, and I think it's important for people to. I mean, my goal is to amplify as many Black voices as possible, and to really support Black businesses wherever I can. So I do appreciate you for still going out there and making sure that Black women in particular are okay. The final question, we're going to close this out because we'll keep talking and then it'll be 2 hours in. Pandemic is not gone, but we have a little bit more freedom. We can be out more now. Things are moving back towards a direction where we can sort of breathe a little bit better. What's the first thing you're going to do?
When
we can be like out.
What am I going to do when things open up? I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. I'm not gonna change anything different. I mean, the only thing that I do that's the thing. I do everything for myself now.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this has given me the opportunity to ask myself the questions like, how do I take care of myself? Because there's nobody else around to do it. So therefore, if there's nobody else around to do it, I have to figure out how can I be me, And this whole time I've been doing that now. So now things have opened up and you can be free. I'm already there. So there's nothing really to change.
Well, I'm not asking the question from a change perspective, but like, is there, something that you haven't been able to do because of the pandemic that you just can't wait to get out and do again? Nope. You just
got outside, basically. I don't know. Like, I don't have to go to gyms anymore to work out. I don't, but normally I would go to a gym to work out. But now I've learned that I can work out on my own outside, and that's awesome. It feels good just to be outside, Or I trained for that marathon,
Right.
That was fun. I would run like for 4 hours and just self-reflect on stuff, But I think the pandemic actually helped me grow as a person. So that way, when things open up, I'm more in tune with who I am, and now outside is just. There's no real pandemic for me anymore, except for the disease that's going on. Emotional.
Okay. All right. Well, damn, Roland, this was so awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Insightful and stuff. I mean, I know you're deep and insightful. We have these conversations, but thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love that we got a chance to to have this conversation. Thank you to everyone that is listening and tuning in. You can find. Yes, Dana, I also need the beach. You can find Roland at Mélange Wellness. He's on IG and Twitter. So if you want to get a session, reach out to him.
Facebook and YouTube.
Say again? And
Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, all Mélange Wellness.
And you also have a Facebook group where you guys do challenges, right? You want to talk about
those are for all my clients. All the people who are my clients now is the Facebook group. I will put some of the challenges out there on my regular social media, on my Mélange social media, but the group, if you become one of my clients, you have special access to a group, and we do all kinds of different challenges and weight challenges and fitness challenges and just fun stuff. So that way we can keep into fitness and self-care.
All right. Well, with that, we are out. Wanted to remind everyone that if you are interested in learning herbs, I have a new series called I Got 5 on it, 5 herbs. We talk about it. We commune with them. It's a lot of fun. If you go to my IG page, Cat's Corner Co., you can see information there, or just go to Black Magic Sisters, BLKMGK sisters.com to sign up. We're doing it next Saturday from 11 to 1. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super, super, super excited about it. And then, we'll be back next week. Next week, our guest will be DJ Cleveland Brown, one of the homies. It's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe her little baby Andrew will make an appearance. We don't know. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for listening and tuning in. We appreciate you, but now we're out because this culture ain't gonna make itself. Take care.
Peace.